Man, it looks like Devin Haney is honing in on that big fight he wants. In the words of J. Cole, know it's on sight when I see you, I'm working at Square Space. Yeah, top of the morning, I know that you thought I was dormant. Woke up early for a shot that was swarming the block full of ops, now the cops in the orbit. Let's get it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Listen, I need y'all to do me a favor. I don't know how you found the content, but you made it. Somehow, some way, you arrived at my video. Help others find the content with a simple, free gesture. Throw a like on the video. It goes a long way. Now, Devin Haney, he has found a way to keep pushing the issue, and it looks like he's on the verge of hopefully getting a big fight. All I know is if he doesn't get a big fight, it's going to look bad for a lot of people, right? Devin Haney in the lightweight division has been called names and, casted to the side. They made Lomachenko the franchise champion. So Devin was calling out Lomachenko. Listen, this is the thing about boxing. When you do it right, nothing can beat it. Nothing can beat the sweet science, the sport of boxing. But when promoters and people's in suits and fighters and people can't come together to make quality fights, that's where it suffers, because you see good fighters, elite fighters fighting people, no one really ever wanted to see them fight. Now, I'm not saying every fight has to be your toughest fight, but when there's no excuse and no reason to take a tune-up or a journeyman style fight, then, people want to see it. And that's been the case with Devin Haney. A lot of people have said they'll fight him and things like that. And fans have even said, like, oh, Devin's pillow-fisted and he's not this and that. But I want to play a clip, and this was after the Teofimo confrontation, Ego exclusive that I'm bringing to you. I got the video in a separate video. If you don't need the narration, you just want to watch the video, so you could check that or stay tuned to this. Roll the clip. Now, this was captured by the big homie, Bay Area, Big Rich. Shout out to him. And Devin Haney, seconds after his fight or face-off at the Fresno fights where Mikey Garcia was upset. And this is what Devin, just watch.
We all good, bro. Hey, Devin, you want to see him after convulsive? You want to see him? You want to see him? Of course, Bill. You want to see him after? You know who push up on who?
Now, I think that was brilliant from Bill Haney particularly. So you see right there, Devin said, the question was, hey, you want to see Teofimo after Kambosos, right? And Devin said, come on, of course, right?
We all good, bro. Hey, Devin, you want to see him after convulsive? You want to see him? You want to see him? Of course, Bill. You want to see him after? You know who push up on who?
Man, that's that Bay Area. Let's get it. Bill Haney, that was brilliant from him. He says, man, you know what it is. You see who pushed up on who. And I think that's something that a lot of people didn't take into consideration, because Teofimo and his dad kind of do like the histrionics and the theatrics and the yelling and the screaming. But real G's move in silence like lasagna. You know what I mean? And Bill Haney, he said a whole lot without raising his voice. And he said a whole lot without having to say a whole lot. And that's that Bay Area. So he says, you know what it is. You see who pushed up on who. And if you look at it at the beginning of this face-off, it's apparent that Devin Haney and his crew were the ones that encroached or approached Teofimo Lopez. Look at it. Look. He's moving in close and getting position. And then Teo and his dad laughing. So they're responsible. So this is a direct rebuttal and contradiction from old media, because they keep saying that Devin Haney is pillow-fisted. Old media keeps saying Devin Haney, he got no chin. And Teofimo, had he shot. Like, I'm seeing comments in my comment section saying stuff like, the shot that Jorge Linares hit Devin Haney with, had Teofimo done that, he would have knocked him out. But that's a poor man's argument, because you can't just magically give somebody the the style of another person. The way Devin Haney got caught, one, he was completely dominating Linares, so maybe he fell asleep at the wheel. You got to take that into consideration. Two, Linares strung that at the end. That was like, he has fast hands, so that was like he strung up 4 punches, and he caught him at the end of the 4th punch or whatever it was. However many punches, I don't remember exactly, but he threw a combo. And he caught him on the last one, and that's what hurt Devin Haney or caught his attention or whatever, had him stumble to the ring. So you can't give Teofimo that type of hand speed and veteran experience if he doesn't have it. And that's the thing. You can't just say, oh, if this people get so, they rejoice too much over power, right? Power is great. If you could have your fighter to have power or not have power, most people would want their fighter to have power. But power is not everything. And I think Floyd Mayweather versus Canelo shows you that. Fights like that. Some people are not giving Caleb Plant any hope, any chance to do anything with Canelo. And they keep saying Canelo's power, Canelo's power. Boxing is more than just somebody has power punches, right? Chris Algieri has no power, and Ruslan Provodnikov had all the power at 140, right? But Chris Algieri came out with the win after being badly hurt, and his eye was in bad shape, just like recently Joet Gonzalez. So I think that was important from Devin Haney. He said, you see, you know what it is. You see who pushed up on who. And again, the reason why I wanted to make this video is because the record needs to show that they keep saying Devin Haney ain't this and he's scared, and if T.O. landed a shot that another fighter landed. I mean, that's not how boxing works. Shane Mosley landed a great shot on Floyd Mayweather, and then he lost every single round. So you can't say, oh, if that was Ricky Hatton, if that was Chico Corrales, if Castillo landed that shot, that's the thing about it. You got to land the shot, right? And from many people I've talked to, from Mickey Bay to Jesse Vargas to other people to off record, they say Devin is really the goods, and Devin is really serious about his craft. So he knows fighting a Teofimo or JoJo or Ryan, he knows what he's up against, and that's just what it is. But the fans, they're running out of excuses as it pertains to Sir Devin Haney. You know, the approach of, oh, this guy ain't done nothing and stuff like that. Devin Haney even had this back and forth with Teofimo, and I think Teo said something to the effect of, I'm more relevant than you, or you're clout chasing me. And Devin Haney, and see, some people in boxing, they like to play dumb. They want to play dumb. Devin Haney brought up his followers and said, I got more followers than you. But the thing that a lot of people are famous for with old media is they'll take comments like this out of context. The reason Devin Haney brought up his followers, from my understanding of what I seen, was because Teofimo made the assertion or statement that Devin Haney was clout chasing him and that he was more relevant than Devin Haney. And he's like, yo, how are you more relevant? How am I clout chasing you? And I got more followers than you. I see a lot of people like on boxing Twitter. Listen, if you want the most toxicity in boxing, go to boxing Twitter. That's where it's all at. You know, just like senseless, senile type comments that just really don't make no sense. So I see a lot of people making a big to-do about Devin saying he had more followers. It's literally true. I looked it up, like on one of my last video, right? He literally does have. So in this reality, like, people are just weird. People are weird, and I'm going to explain and express that. Devin Haney has more followers, 1.1 million. This is his Instagram page. We could look up Teofimo. The reason, again, that this is even a conversation, look, there's T.O., 708. So what Devin said was actual fact, right? There's nothing to get butthurt about, blah, blah, blah. That's the absolute fact. And it's funny that when a non-black fighter like Ryan Garcia, all they do is talk about his followers. That's all they talk about, is how he got 8-9 million followers. Even on telecast, Golden Boy says, oh, but Ryan, he's an Instagram star and he got all these Instagram followers. That's all you hear about Ryan Garcia's followers. But then a black fighter like Devin Haney, who is being accused of clout chasing, he responds with, hey, I got more followers than you. How am I clout chasing you? right? I make more money than you. And then people are trying to play dumb and say, oh, why is he talking about money and followers? Who cares? It's about boxing. But you're missing it. You're blowing it, kid. You're missing the whole argument. On top of all this money, and he does make more than T.O., trust me, and on top of all this followers and stuff like that, this is the guy who's pursuing the other guy. Teofimo is the guy saying, I got the belts and I'm the A-side and I'm a pay-per-view star. Devin Haney's not really doing that. He said that in defense of the comment made from Teofimo. So I think there's a lot of weirdos in boxing and a lot of people losing focus. This kid, I got an interview coming soon. I'm going to have to chop it up, but check that out. It's coming. I did an interview with Mickey Bay, who's team Devin Haney, and he said some pretty, I don't want to blow it. I don't want to spoil it. So you guys just check the video. But a lot of people losing focus. Devin Haney is the one pursuing these fights. Ryan Garcia's out with a hand injury. He says, yo, on the live broadcast with DAZN, make the JoJo fight. His promoter, Eddie Hearn, was even clamoring for the fight. You know, I got all the proof right here.
Aggressively pursuing a fight with Joseph Diaz Jr. since Ryan Garcia was forced to pull out of the fight scheduled for November 27th. Where do things stand in your mind with a JoJo Diaz fight?
I mean, I feel like that's the fight to make. He's my mandatory. He doesn't have a fight or opponent. I don't have an opponent. It all aligns. We sent him an offer today, so we'll see what happens.
Eddie, do you think you've done as much as you can to get JoJo Diaz in the ring with Devin Haney?
I mean, you called it. You know, he's chasing these guys. You know, you got a double.
So you heard it yourself. That Eddie Hearn said you called it yourself. The DAZN reporter, says, Devin Haney, you on Twitter going crazy, calling him out and aggressively chasing down these people. So the bottom line is what y'all saying about Devin Haney really is not adding up. Oh, he got a glass chin. Oh, he would have got slept if the Lanada shot, if T.O. landed it. Then that's more reason for these dudes to fight him. But instead, we have all these other like parameters and things that Devin Haney needs to do. They say fight someone top 10. Then he fights Linadas, who's top 10. Then they say you got to get your numbers up. You got to get a new watch. You got to get, Richard Mille watch. It's just always something, bro. So luckily, Devin Haney and his team, I think they're moving in the right way, staying active, staying ready in the gym, keeping in shape, and keeping their name out there. I think ultimately the face-off with Teofimo was good for Devin Haney, good exposure for Teofimo. T.O. got to get past Kambosos, but I see the walls are closing in. I definitely see that. And like I said at the beginning, Bill Haney, he said a lot without saying a lot. He says, you see who pushed up on who. So for all the things that Devin Haney ain't, according to old media, he sure is very aggressive and very confident. So as a fight fan, you have no choice but to respect that. How is this man who ain't fought no one and email champion and no power and pillow fisted and Devin the Hugger Haney and all this negative stuff that old media is saying, he sure got confidence like he ain't none of them things. So it's going to be up to one of these fighters to step up, stand up, and stop him from being confident. And so far, we haven't really seen that. And that's the reality of it. So beyond all the talk, the kid is working, and you got to give respect to that. And it just shows you that in old media, they know what it is. That's why they playing dumb. They playing dumb, saying like they think power is everything, but they know boxing comes first. Wilder had power, and he just lost to Tyson Fury, and we know Wilder got way more power than Tyson Fury. So clearly there's other attributes and conditioning and mindset and chin and different things you got to take your training camp, how you fight, how loose you are. There's other things you have to take into consideration. So old media is over for them. I don't want to hear nothing about Devin ain't this, he an email champ, he's glass chin and pillow fisted, because the person that's all these things that you keep saying is the one who's in pursuit of all these guys. Deuces. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster.